In 1988, Atari released Dark Chambers for the Atari 2600, Atari 7800, and the Atari 8-bit family. Granted, by this time Nintendo was dominating the video game world. Some of us that started out on Atari would still go back and play the system that introduced us to home consoles. I had Dark Chambers for the 2600. It's the only version I had ever played of this game. I knew it was also released on the 7800, but I never ended up owning one. Like a majority of gamers, I ditched Atari and went straight to Nintendo. At the time, Nintendo was so far ahead of what Atari could offer when it came to better looking and more advanced games. It is the reason I skipped out on purchasing the Atari 5200 and 7800. However, there was no way I was just going to dispose of my 2600. I kept it and still have it along with all of my carts. Even at a young age, I knew it was a special system that would hold great significance in the gaming world future. That being said, I purchased Dark Chambers for the 2600 in 1988. I honestly only purchased it because it kind of reminded me of one of my all-time favorite arcade titles, Gauntlet, which came out in I believe 1985. Dark Chambers wasn't horrible on the 2600, but it also was far from great. With Gauntlet stuck in my head, Dark Chambers on the 2600 disappointed me in a way. I thought the game had so much potential, but I think I was let down because I was being spoiled by the much more advanced games on the NES. Fast forward 35 years to the arrival of the Atari Gamestation. I finally get to play the game I had high hopes for, but the 7800 version. This version is exactly what I was hoping the 2600 version would be. Playing Dark Chambers the way I always imagined was an absolute blast. I was 12 years old all over again. Was it Gauntlet? No. But it did give the Gauntlet vibe that I was expecting, which the 2600 version failed to do. I sat and played this game until I completed it. I think it took me about an hour and 15 minutes to complete it. I enjoyed it so much I decided to immediately do another playthrough. I ended up completing it the second time in about an hour. It was the first time in about 40 years that I sat and played an Atari game for multiple hours. The Atari Gamestation's library may not be the greatest, but you can add any games that you want with it having an SD slot. Luckily, Dark Chambers is included in the 200 plus game library. Of all the games included on the Gamestation, Dark Chambers in the 7800 collection tops it for me. A close second would be the 5200 version of Missile Command. If it's been some time since you played Dark Chambers, or if it would be the first time you played it, I recommend picking up an Atari Gamestation and playing the 7800 version of this game. So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. And until the next video, game on.